This is Rachel Dworkin from the Chemung County Historical Society recording for the COVID Memory Project. I am here at the Hilliard drivetrain plant speaking with
Katie Pettitt.
All right, thank you, Katie. And today is April 7th, 2022. Katie, how long have you worked for Hilliard?
Almost 3 years now, in June.
And what do you do exactly?
I'm a third shift assembler.
Okay. And how, you already told me how long you've been doing that. How did COVID impact your work?
In April of 2020, the majority of us on the line were laid off because everything was up in the air. We didn't know what direction everything was going to take. So I had 8 weeks off in total.
And did you receive unemployment for that?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that the enhanced unemployment or?
Yes, ma'am. I had made more money in that 8 weeks than I had ever made working any other job.
Okay. And then they brought you back. Was that at the same pay rate that you had before you were let go?
Yes.
Doing the same job?
Yes.
Okay. Were there any changes to the operation of the assembly line after you were already brought back in? Like, were there new regulations like?
Well, the mask wearing was very difficult for all of us because it was very hot, and it's very hot in a factory, and you're working side by side with people, and it's loud, and it's hard to hear people and whatnot, so you read lips a lot, and you couldn't. And they had put up some dividers that really just got in the way. We work in tight spaces, and they were really more so bothersome than anything else.
Okay. Are those measures still in place, or did they go away, and when did they go away?
Some of the dividers are still floating around in random areas just in case we have to use them again. I really don't remember when they went away. Every line was different. Some spots you're kind of further away from people, and other spots you're really close to people. So I don't really remember when they went away, though.
Okay. And the masks went away, when the state abolished the mask mandate?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have mandatory testing?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
How else would you say COVID has impacted the plant, or would you say that's just the ways that we've discussed?
I feel it's just the ways that we've discussed. Current day, right now, things feel like the way they were before COVID hit. So it's nice to be in that familiar setting again, where everything was so unfamiliar before. You know, you're so used to working side by side with these people and getting to know them personally, and then having dividers and masks, it just made us feel very closed in. We weren't allowed to share anymore or anything. We touched the same parts for 8 hours a day. You know, there's 7 or 8 of us, you know. So it just made it difficult.
So do you guys have a shared lunchroom, break room?
Yes.
How did that go with COVID? Or was there
I don't go up there and eat, but the men that do go up there, they would sit at one end and at the other end, and there would only be 2 people on either side of the table when I would go up there to get a drink or something like that.
So where do you normally take your lunch then?
Right around the line area.
Oh, okay.
You know, just kind of stay in my area and just eat there.
Okay. So outside of your work, how would you say COVID has impacted you or your family?
I looked through the pictures of my phone so I could jog my memory more, and one of the very first pictures I came across was the grocery store and the empty shelves. I'm a mother of 3 boys, and it was a huge shock to me to walk in and see the grocery store in a way that I have never seen it before. I'm 37 years old. I've never seen the grocery store look like that before, and it was a real slap in the face. That this is real. This is happening.
Were you able to find what you needed, or not really?
Sometimes, you know, maybe you'd had to hit up a couple more stores to try and find the things that you need. But for the most part, we didn't go without. We just had to buy less.
So you have 3 boys. Are those boys school age?
They are. One will be 15 soon, one is 13, and one is 9.
So how did that work with you working third shift and them doing school from home?
I'm so happy you asked that. So I would work my shift, come home, and the youngest boy would start school about a half an hour after I got home. So I would get in the door, get him some breakfast, get his laptop set up, try to wake him up a little bit, and he would be my first boy to get online for the day. My other 2 boys are both in the same grade, so they were able to help each other out a little bit more, but they still had questions.
So, so you work 11 to 7.
Yes.
So your youngest would start class at 7:30-ish, and then you would sleep and...
Yeah. It's like short naps. How about that? You're on the couch, and it's kind of like that mother intuition where you sleep with one eye open, kind of. Because I was able to, I can't for the life of me remember what it was called, but Hilliard's had a program, I guess, where if COVID affected you in a certain way or your family, you were able to take that day off and it was paid and whatnot. So I had done 1 day a week of that just because I like my job.
And I imagine you must have just been like completely exhausted all the time.
All the time.
So has it gotten better now that the kids are back in school?
Yes. Yeah, summertime it's kind of hard, I mean, it's what that felt like was summertime. I'm working, they're home, they're kind of doing their own thing. I sleep with one eye open. They get the gist of it, though, what to do and what not to do.
Do you have a partner as well?
I do.
And what do they do?
He's a machinist at Trayer Products, and he works first shift from 7 to 3.
So, like, that...
Yes.
Was he also laid off initially?
Only 1 week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then they brought him right back.
Okay. So other than the shutdown and the schooling issues, were there any other ways that COVID impacted your family?
Trying to find creative ideas to keep busy boys going and interested and just trying to find things. I would fill out a slip here and take home odd shapes of cardboard, and my boys would make crazy swords and shields and all kinds of stuff out of that, and then they would have little battles in the backyard with it and everything. And we experimented with elephant toothpaste. Have you ever heard of that before?
Isn't that like an expanding foam?
Yes.
Where did you even get that?
Just online. I looked it up, just try to YouTube things and trying to find fun things that they would like, and they loved it. They still love it.
Okay. So no one in your family was sick or anything?
My partner and I had actually, I wrote it down, the date too. I had gotten COVID and he had gotten COVID the same time, December 3rd.
So was that Delta?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just felt like crud.
So was that December 3rd, 2020 or December 3rd, 2021?
2020.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had taken a trip to New York City November 7th of 2020. The city was completely empty. It was unlike anything that I had ever experienced before. And we were in Manhattan. And at that time, Manhattan was the 3rd highest in the world. And there was nobody there. We got to experience a lot of things that I don't think people really understand. When they think of New York City, they think of this busy people everywhere. There was nobody around. So November 7th we went, we came back, everything was fine. December 3rd of 2020, that's when we had both gotten COVID. And then we had gone back to the city January 1st of 2021. And we went to another empty city again, and we went to the 9/11 museum, something I've always wanted to do. I was in 10th grade when 9/11 happened, so it means something to me. And we were 7 stories underground at one point in time. And then we had gone to the Edge. It's a Edge skyscraper. And we were 100 floors in the air on the same day.
Cool.
And how many places can you go where you can do that?
And that was also like empty? Were you guys like the only ones there for most of that?
It was a little bit busier there. You had to wait in line. People get out there, and then they stay out on the deck and whatnot, and they've got a glass triangle that you can stand on and get your picture, and the cars look like ants, So I thought it was great. My partner was a little sketchy on that, but I thought it was wonderful.
And the kids enjoyed it?
They didn't go.
Oh.
I don't want to take my children to the city until they get a little bit older. I'm a little weary of people and whatnot, and we walk a lot because we want to see everything. They don't want to do that.
Oh, okay. So do you have like relatives who watch them?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes, they're other parents. Yes.
So when you were sick, was it you said you felt like crud? Yeah. Any specific crud-like symptoms?
Oh, yes. I lost taste and smell for a very long time. My partner only lost smell for a brief time, and he got it right back. Mine took forever to come back, and still to this day, and guys pick on me about it, like there are things in here that I still can't smell, and it'll come back eventually. It's I did a little research on it, and it's called the olfactory nerve that's up in here or whatever it may be, and it's damaged, and it was damaged from that, and I roll with the punches. I try to repetitiously eat and drink the same things to familiarize myself again with these things and just continue on.
Do you have any other long COVID symptoms?
Just that.
I
feel like I lost a little hair too, but it's thin anyway. So.
Are you and your family vaccinated?
No.
Can I ask you why not?
I am a firm believer in natural immunity. We have survived so many years on this planet without experimental shots. And I have not been sick since COVID. And I know that sounds funny, but it was 11 months after I had gotten COVID that I had gotten my first runny nose and slight cough because I was mulching leaves in the backyard.
Okay.
So I don't want the shot at all.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you would like to talk about in terms of what's been happening for the last 3 years with COVID and whatnot?
My company promoted a lot of in-house, you can get the shot here, we'll come to you, and to whoever chooses to do that, that's your prerogative and whatnot, but it's not something that I was ever interested in partaking in, or my family. I didn't like the promise of the way things used to be. I didn't like how I kept on hearing that on the news, that if you get the shot, then everything will go back to the way it was before, and you'll be able to do this and that without a mask on, and I didn't like that. So I was not for that at all, and it concerned me that people were so willing to take the shot not knowing what was in it. Some shots are out there for so many years, vaccinations are out there for so many years that they do studies on, and this one seemed so rushed all the time, just pushing and pushing and pushing. It just wasn't for me. On top of that too, I also, for the very first time in my life, felt what segregation felt like. Mask, no mask, vaccinated, not vaccinated, and it felt like the divide was there. And I'm sure that there are many other people out there that would say the same thing. People look at you with, not disgust, but just, stay on your side or something. I don't know. I did very much feel that way, though.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss?
Some of the men that I work with are vaccinated, And they, we all talk about everything, so it's no big deal. The thing that got to me the most was after their vaccination, maybe a year after, whatnot, I can't really tell you a timeline, they were getting sick, and I still wasn't getting sick. And that just reaffirmed everything even more to me, that my path is natural immunity. I do not want to put that foreign substance into my body in order to have a job. And I was very firm on that, and I still am.
But you haven't been told that you have to be vaccinated to work here or anything like that?
Right.
Okay,
No,
good.
not at all.
Okay.
That's really all I have written down.
Okay. So nothing else to discuss then?
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me.
You're very welcome.